This year, my life as I knew it came to a screeching halt. Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Me. I thought that it was important for the first episode to really be a more in-depth introduction on why I decided to do this. I know that in a channel trailer I only have 2 minutes, and now I have all of the minutes because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want. So grab a snack, grab some coffee, grab a drink, whatever it is that you need, and sit and let's talk. My life has moved at warp speed since I was born, and I just have always been that way. I've always moved past things, I've always just blown through things, and I was on this locomotive, and if you got in my way, that was it. Either you were getting on the train or I was running you over. That was how I lived my life for a very long time. Destructive, but we got through. This year, my life as I knew it came to a screeching halt. And that was so much so that I had to seek a medical professional and I had to get medicated, which I'm not ashamed of. I'm actually very proud of it. I'm very proud of the fact that I did that. I'm almost in a way mourning myself pre-medication because I didn't really understand how bad it was because I was just in it. I just lived it. And when you know something for so long, you become conditioned to this way of living. And now that my levels are normal, and I'm operating as I say normal, but as a person, it was really bad. And I didn't realize how bad it was until now that I'm out of it. In August, I would say that I pretty much had a nervous breakdown. So, that's neat. I can scratch that one off the bucket list. And it wasn't just one thing for me. I like to take every little thing that happens to me, every big thing that happens to me, and I go, yeah, and I put it in a cup, and I put it in a cup, and I put it in a cup because I have more things to do, more important things to do. And I've never really been good at processing information. And there has been some things within this past year that people do know about that have happened with me. For example, my daughter spending time in the hospital. If you want to know more about that, I'll link a different video to my second channel. But that was the last straw that I was able to put in that cup. And then there was something that happened at my son's school, and it was just death by 1,000 paper cuts. And I think so many times we tell ourselves that it could be worse, or it'll get better, or it'll be fine, or whatever, instead of dealing with what happened. I actually went into the doctor because I was going to bed and I was waking up drenched. I mean, hair, clothes, bed, soaked, like somebody had just hit me with a bucket of water. And I know that people in my family suffer from thyroid issues, and also I'm 38 years old, and I'm like, am I going through perimenopause? I don't know, so I went to my doctor and I asked him to check. And as I was talking to my doctor, I started shaking and I started getting really short of breath and I started gasping for air. And he looked at me and he goes, what's happening right now? And I said, well, I don't know. I'm just trying to make sure that I tell you this information and whatever. And he goes, okay. And he goes, are you okay? And I just burst into tears, sobbing. And he goes, oh, okay. My cuppeth has runneth over, okay? He checks all my levels, everything's fine, and I'm healthy, which is great. But how many times have you gone to the doctor and you're like, I feel terrible? Then they're like, nope, you're fine, everything's fine. But he said to me, I'd like to put you on a particular medication. He said, after everything we talked about, after everything that's happening, after everything, and obviously he knows everything that's going on with my son, with my daughter, he had said, I think you're having panic attacks in your sleep. And I said, that's interesting, because I'm also having them while I'm awake. I don't know if somebody gets an A+, but if they did, it would be me. So he put me on this medication, and I've been on it now since August, and I feel like I am seeing the world for the first time. I feel like I'm meeting myself for the first time. But I'm also processing things that I don't think I was mentally capable of processing before. And my goal with this channel really is to not be alone, but also not to allow other people, moms, women, just anybody who really is overwhelmed, not to be alone. I have gone through my parenting journey and my stay-at-home mom journey sort of alone, not in the way that I had pictured it. And I have been home for the past 6 years, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with my children. And that's the life that I chose, and I love it. And I love the fact that I'm able to do that. But I was also promised that this life was going to be fulfilling and rewarding and just ethereal and euphoric all the time. And I found myself most days drowning and crying multiple times a day. And I felt guilty for having those feelings, because then when I expressed my feelings to people, they would say, don't say that. Or you should be grateful for what you have. And just because I'm overwhelmed by something or something is hard doesn't mean I'm any less grateful for the things that I have. It's just like, hey, this shit is hard sometimes, you know? And it's hard. It's hard to be a mom, and it's hard to be a wife, and it's hard to be a person that everybody depends on. And my mothering skills were falling apart, and my mental stability was falling apart, and my marriage was falling apart, and my life was crumbling very quickly. And I had to step back, and I had to take a moment and ask my husband for his patience. I couldn't ask anything from my kids, and I really just kind of had to get it together and focus on what was important. And what is important is the fact that nobody in this house is responsible for my emotions. So what does that look like moving forward, and how do we get that under control? And I came to a place where I could no longer do that by myself, which is why I sought, medical help. And then I got on medication that was right for me and great for me. And then slowly, in the past 2 months, I have started to very slowly pick up the pieces of my life. I just wish, even at 38 years old, that I had somebody to come in and hold my hand and say, okay, Bacon, today we're getting up and we're gonna brush our teeth. And if that's all you can do today, that's fine, but your breath stinks. Or hey, time to get up and wash that ass, girl, cause yuck. But I slowly started to implement these things, right? From just putting my feet on the floor, to being able to brush my teeth, to being able to take a shower, to being able to start daily chores, to be able to start weekly chores, to be able to start doing DIY projects in my house. And it just has snowballed into this thing. And I'm slowly transforming into the mother and the person that I've always wanted to be. Sorry, I had to switch settings real quick. I'm not aesthetically pleasing. I'm not organized. I'm not great at schedules. My brain has like 35 tabs open at once. But somehow I've managed to sort of figure it out. But I'm in this place where I think that I could only get better. And I would really like to take in your input and use it. And I'd really like to give you guys some ideas on how to implement some things to make your lives better as well. And I want us to be able to accomplish things, even if it's the smallest thing, even if it's just washing your ass. Okay? That's what I want to do. And this episode is going to be different than every other episode, but I thought it was really important to explain to you guys why I'm here, why we're here, and why we're going to stay here. Every episode moving forward will be more of a vlog style with a focus. What is our focus for that day? And sometimes the in-between. Sometimes I just need to sit down and talk in front of a camera like a weirdo. I hope you guys stick around. I hope you guys enjoy this journey. I'm enjoying it already. So if you guys like what you see, please like and subscribe. If you don't like what you see, please also like and subscribe. Every time you like and subscribe, my little validation fairy gets her wings. My name is Bacon Bears, and I'm perpetually at home.